Broncos hadn't been to Brookvale in a decade, arriving on the beaches under enormous pressure, and when the blowtorch got applied, they crumbled.
Last tackle play. Who wants it? Short side kick. Looking for Kevin. Oh, it's for Lalo. Gets another chance. Set restart. Cherry Evans. There it is. Back on the ball. That is a perler. That's a delicious pass from the Manly side. And there's a kick through. They're on the run again. Hopawate. Manly sizzle. Back for Brooks, tries a kick towards the post. Olakawanu! Abole! That is as clean as you will catch it in the air. Brilliant play by Manly. 26 on the board against Brisbane. Brisbane's demise is the story here. 1 win from 7.
It is, and I don't know where Michael Maguire goes to from here.
That was our moment of the round, all thanks to Ford. 4 straight losses, 1 from 7. The Broncos, 1 from their last 7. What's going on up there in Brisbane?
What I saw the other night, no heart, no desire, no passion, no idea. What Greg Alexander said in the commentary, I don't know where Michael Maguire goes, and I agree with him. I think he's got to change, but they were just dreadful reading.
I don't think he's got any change. Buzz, I think he's won a couple of comps here and overseas, and
long time ago, mate.
I know, but I'm going to say in his mind, he knows what it takes. But I mean, it's just not working at the moment. I was sidelined for this game as well, and man, they were shocking from the opening minute. The opening set, Manly just rolled down the field, and they just kept rolling through.
You said you were sidelined. I'm at home watching it, and it was. I mean, I've seen him look like that at periods throughout the year, but not a whole 80 minutes. I just want to get before I get to Gordy. I'm thinking, how does it feel there? Like on the sideline, like with them so close to you, could you feel that there was no energy? Could you feel that they're struggling? Did it look like there's a problem there? Like
the thing for me, Braith, was after the game, the looks on the faces after the game, they were just blank stares. They looked like a team bereft of answers. And I mean, I was at their first game in '88. I can't remember too many games that I've watched over the years of the Broncos that look that bad. And there probably have been some, there would have been. But they were just horrid. And it looked like, on the field, it just looked like they were... Manly were good, right? There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But they look clueless. They look lost. And you know, it's a huge game this week, Braith. The Gold Coast Tide's a monstrous game for them.
It is. Gordy, you're a club legend. Yep. You've won comps there. For you, sitting back now, what do you see is wrong with the place?
I think a bit of everything. I think they've gone away from what makes Broncos great. I think they're trying to win... Well, they're trying to win 8-10. Like, we're a side that expresses themselves. I think that they're playing like they're scared to make a mistake. Like, it's like that they're not going out there. They're not playing a style of footy. Sometimes I don't know. There's no leadership, right? So against the Dragons, like if I go back to the Dragons, the last play of the game, their halfback doesn't come up with a play. And then you go there, Manly, no Tommy, no trophy, I always say, no Jake, no Paseka. It wasn't a full-strength Manly, so they've struggled. You would think this is it. They're coming off a bye. You would think they'd be jumping out of their skin. OK, you can come up with no plays, Braith, but you think the effort would be there, wouldn't you? So when they were playing in the grand final, their kick chase was great. They did get found out late in the game against Panthers, but most of the year you don't play in the grand final if you're not having a go for each other. I don't see them playing for each other. There's no connection, I think, at times. And they've gone away from expressing themselves. I don't think that they're out there throwing the ball around and winning 20 points to 14 or whatever.
But I think it's like we've
30 points to 14.
We saw them put 40 or whatever they put on Canterbury. We saw them put 50 or so on the Roosters. They look magnifitent, right? They look connected.
When they throw the ball around.
When they threw the ball around, played football, they look scared, like not even scared to play. They look like they'd forgotten how to play.
That was my point. At times this year when they'd been written off and people had questioned and they'd bounce back and they'd come up with that performance like they did against the Dogs and you think, OK, you still believe. They've still got it in them to come back and make the finals. Buzz, you've been big on the player unrest all year. What are you seeing and what are you hearing out of the club?
Well, I'm hearing this player unrest, and even when Payne Haas's manager put out a statement yesterday saying everything's OK, we're going to sit down, talk to the Broncos, I feel that was to take pressure off Payne because everyone publicly saying he won't hang around with the team going this badly, he wants to win a premiership, he might even go down the road to the Titans, play with Tino, play with his brother. And I thought that statement was put out to take pressure off him. As I've said many times this year, Madge is a particularly intense sort of fella. Very suited to rep coaching, 8 weeks with New South Wales, 8 weeks with New Zealand. He's been very successful. But that intense club style didn't work at the West Tigers, and at the back end at South it didn't work either. And he was forced out of both clubs.
Are they not willing to buy in at all, the players?
Well, it's very... And a lot of people are saying, well, you know, the players couldn't perform under Kevy. Well, they actually did. They made a grand final. It was 17 minutes off winning it. So they did actually perform. Kevy lifted them from a wooden spoon. They couldn't perform under Seabold, so it must be the players. I think Madge is an intense sort of dude, and they can't all relate to him. I think there's a communication problem there, and I don't know what role Ben Tia is playing in this. I don't know what Trent Barrett's doing. I don't know what Matt Ballin's doing. But that coaching staff, the four of them, have got to get together and they've got to say, whatever we're doing now, 6 losses, 7 games.
I'm sure they've done that already.
But it's a championship roster.
Do you look at that squad and go, okay, what brings out the best in Ezra, what brings out the best in Selwyn Colbert? Or do you go, we're going to play this style of football that might not
But Gordy,
suit,
they've done that style at times this year. They've played that style.
Yeah,
their style?
There's 2 games in 14 weeks.
I understand that. I'm saying that style's been there at times this year. They just haven't produced it consistently, particularly over the last 7 weeks. And, it's... Like, everyone wants to blame Madge for what's going on, right? But last year, they didn't perform under Kevy, right? Last year, that's why Kevy's not the job anymore. This playing squad, the majority of this playing squad.
You can't do last year and this year. The injuries last year...
He's had injuries. He's got no resource.
No, their top 5 players played 5 games.
Well, he's got no resource in Ben Hunt at the moment.
Ben Hunt come this year, 1, and Reece Walsh. And he missed last year as well.
I'm not saying you absolve Madge of blame.
No, but what
I'm saying the players should take some ownership for the way they're playing.
Okay, what was he brought there for? To give them a what?
To give them a backbone, some spine.
Okay, do they have it?
No, not based on what I saw on the weekend. So what was he brought there to do? But Gordy, they've got to buy in. They're not buying in. They can't just keep changing the coach every year. Because the players won't buy in.
Okay, then perfect. Well, who's to blame then for the situation there?
Well, I think the players are the majority to blame for it.
No, hold on. But last year it wasn't the players. It was the coach.
Yeah. And maybe that was a mistake in hindsight. Maybe they should have taken a look at the playing squad.
So who makes those decisions?
Well, the chairman, the CEO and the board.